suitable for general family viewing.
How are you? Welcome to Beyond the Limit. As always, it's good doing this with you. My name is Linda Alela, and the beautiful bit about this program is the fact that we come here with stories of hope. And therefore, tonight, the focus will be on dyslexia. Actually, the focus is not on dyslexia, but basically on Nicholas, a child that has grown with these difficulties that come along with dyslexia. But guess what? Guess what? He has a beautiful story, and later on we'll as well speak to the mom who'll be telling us how the journey has been like for them. And you, sitting in their own place, you look around, the numerous trophies that you see around, the great strides that Nicholas has made in life. Indeed, story of hope. Welcome on board. It's always good doing this with you, and therefore I'll allow Nicholas to introduce himself also as he welcomes us to his home. Rebu Nicholas.
Thank you so much, Linda, for hosting, and also Faye at home.
Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. And also, my name is Nicholas Dongo. I'm the current I'm the Mr. Autism Kenya 2023. Now the Prince Autism Kenya, which one I founded it.
Right.
And also, I'm the founder of the group called Neurodiversity Youth Community Ability. And also the founder of the podcasts show.
Beautiful. And the podcast you speak so much about?
You share the stories from other people, neurodivergence and other disability.
All right.
Yes.
I mentioned dyslexia, and then you mentioned autism. Somewhere in between we get confused. Could you please make us understand which between the two? And yeah.
As for me, I have dyslexia and just have decalculus. That's decalculus is about maths,
Right.
and dyslexia is about unable to read and write, but trying to read and to write. In maths, I struggle with mathematics.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Autism is about how the brain, they are unable to communicate, just like how we are communicating with you.
Right.
They struggle, but some of them they're higher. That means that means they can hit themselves or yeah.
All right. So born like this, but of course doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you have picked? What are some of your strengths that have gotten you to this point? And perhaps if you can tell us something small about yourself and your story, with dyslexia.
When I was young, so my mom did not know about what is dyslexia, so she has to get help from other professionals. And also in the normal school, they saw me that I was unable to read. Some students, they call me that I'm stupid, I'm not good enough,
Slow,
I'm
yeah.
slow. Even in my exams, I was number last. I don't know number last. It is 1 or 0. Yeah.
Right. Or you don't know whether it's 0 or 1. That's
Yes.
interesting. But wait a minute. When you're saying in class, it means you got to school at what age? And you're also talking about you like when you were young, and I'm actually thinking you're still young. But anyway, so you went to the usual school, the Kawaida school, up until what level?
Right now I cannot remember.
What level? Yes.
But when I was baby class, my parents and the teachers realized that there's something
That is
wrong.
Yeah.
And also the teachers, they did not teach me. They made me to do some work to wipe the board, or they did not teach me.
Okay. They
Like
didn't focus on, academics. They focused,
Yes.
okay. All right, interesting. And so you have grown all the way up.
Yeah.
Did it get you discouraged that you were going through all that? And did you continue with school? Did you have to change schools to a special school, or what exactly?
I went to many schools,
Okay.
actually many schools. Then after my mom found the best schools. Before she found it, she has to take me to assessment to be assessed, and also to speech therapy, after speech therapy, now the people from Kise now started to give us guidance.
Well, it's interesting that you say when you were young. I kind of feel like you're still young. But anyway, so at this point, you probably realize, or your parents realize that maybe something is amiss. So you continue with school, or then they decide that you should not go back to school?
Yes, in class 4, the mama just removed me from school in the normal school, and now we have to look for other schools which are not normal. They did not accept me, but we went for Kise, where they do for speech therapy, assessment, and to give my own guidance which school I can go is best for me. So they give us a school that is a special needs school. It's really kind to me. They taught me a lot, and also more is about my mom teach me more, but still the school taught me more.
So how far have you gone with the question of education?
In the special needs school.
Well, in the special needs, yes. Did you undergo like the normal, say, curriculum? I mean, you go to high school, you go to primary school, the entire thing, to campus and all that. How far are you?
Right now, I'm doing the course called neurodiversity course.
Okay, where?
In Strathmore
Oh,
University.
nice.
It's for people with dyslexia, autism. It's for those people, but other can join also to learn about ICT. Yes, graphics, computers, and many things. Yes, but in high school and in primary, I was in KCSL. Well, I've started learning up to year 11. We are doing the other normal system, the British system, but the exam is in NEC exam.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So moving on and basically living life, what are some of the strengths you have discovered about yourself, out of this condition, or perhaps based on this condition?
What I discovered about myself, that I'm very, very patient with other people. I like to support other neurodivergent youths, the dyslexia and also autism, so they can find themselves and also they can experience how their life journey is. And also they don't be shy. Also the parents to embrace them, to accept them, to take them out there. Yeah.
I've checked your socials and I realize, and basically also your introduction this evening, is that you do a lot of things with your life. What are some of the tools that you have used, the strategies that you have used, and now that you speak so highly about mommy and how she's walked you throughout the journey to achieve some of the things that you have achieved and even the ones that you intend to?
Mostly I use assistive device like my computer, my tablet, my phone, where it can help me to read, to write, and also to get spellings. I use TalkBack to write for me spellings, and also Reader to read for me.
Yes. Okay, so what would you say, has been your greatest challenge just growing up? And what are some of the things that have kept you going? What is this that has given you the strength to say, despite the fact that my fellow students would say that I am not good enough, I will go all the way up until getting to Strathmore?
What helps me a lot is that I use a lot of gadgets. That really helps me. I go outdoors to do activities to keep me focused in my head, and also I do advocacy to champion to other youths who are unable to talk about themselves, and other parents to take there, and also job centers also, they can accept them and to learn. So I've been going to meetings trying to understand more how I can help the youths. Yes.
Where do you get this support beyond mom, beyond maybe school? Where do you get this support to champion for these, to carry out these elements of advocacy?
First is my mom, who is my manager. I have mentors who always help me in this advocacy journey. Yes, they just share me some, invites me to meetings. Or sometimes I hear some meetings, I have to call the person to I go to listen or to talk.
All right. Are there any programs that you're carrying out as at now? And I see you have lots of trophies. These ones we must talk about.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Problems. It's only the challenge that most is about going to school. It's really a struggle, even when I was young.
Yes, because you're coming all the way from Kasarani and going all the way to Strathmore.
Yes.
I mean, how do you?
I use matatus. I have to learn using matatus.
Right.
My mom guides me which matatu to use. Sometimes I get lost to go to those places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you just find your way? And you know, I mean, what is this one challenging experience that you've had? That one that you can remember?
Getting lost.
You're getting lost, and literally you don't know where to go. And then what happens?
At least in town, I know some few hotels I can go. But before I go to those places, I have to be taken by my mom, who's my manager, to learn to understand more about matatus. The change also, I have trouble with changes.
Yeah.
I have to use calculators mostly, even when I'm buying the groceries.
Okay. You must calculate first if you're going to get something and all that.
But sometimes I'm afraid to use a calculator.
Because then the person will know what.
Yes, so they can call me easy.
Uh,
So I have to use calculator.
okay.
Yes.
Well, but you're faring on pretty good, right?
Yes.
Generally.
Yeah.
What does the future look like? What are your plans? What are the plans of Nicholas in terms of advocacy, education, in terms of just making life good for himself?
For me, I want to make sure all the youth with the neurodiversity to be accepted in job centers, to schools, to given a assistive device in a high school or in university.
Okay.
And also even the government schools can accept to be trained as skill-based, not as the writing, just skill-based. So the neurodiverse youth can learn how to do jobs. If it's camera, is it video, if it is cooking or mechanic or anything.
Right.
Skill-based in the government schools.
Okay.
Yeah, universities. Yeah.
Beautiful. You are well dressed. Where are you going?
Right now,
Normally, this is you. This is Nicholas on a daily basis.
no. My daily basis, I just do some exercise. But when I'm going somewhere, I have to, like important meetings, like I'm going to WeWork program, where youths be trained how to know themselves.
Okay.
The disability youths to know themselves, and to understand about the job centers, how they can work with other people.
Okay.
Yes. And also they can be the self-advocacy.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. We are not going just yet. We must talk to Mom. You speak highly about her. Yes. And therefore, we just want to know how the journey has been like, bringing up such a handsome gentleman, you know, and, you know, looking composed and all that. Girls must disturb you so much, don't they?
I have my best friend.
Okay. Yeah? A girl?
A best friend.
A best friend. Let's take a short break and then speak to Nicholas's mom. Well, as I told you, we'll be talking to Nicholas's mom, and here she is. Introduce yourself to the people even as we get to this beautiful story of you and your son.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Morani Kongo. That's what I call myself, but then my first name is Miriam. And I'm a mother of one, Nicholas Dungu.
Nicholas.
Yes, and that's his manager also. Yes.
A typical mom, my assumption would be like they probably would have wished to have another child, because then they feel like maybe Nicholas is not going to go far in life. Yours has been a different story. What inspired you to have Nicholas as that one child, and, you know, to have taken him all the way up to this level?
It was actually not an inspiration to have one child. I just happened to be.
Okay.
And when I got Nicholas, of course, I noted early enough that he had the challenges. And before I could think of another child, of course, we had issues. Maybe sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, most parents will agree with me that family life becomes a bit complicated, and you may end up raising the child on your own. And so that complicates everything, and you concentrate with this one child, and before you know it,
it is just him. It is just him. The experience, how has it been like for you? The difficult times, the beautiful times, the nice times, the memorable times, the changes that it has given, it has brought to you as an individual.
yeah. So the beauty of times is having him. He's one blessed child, and I'm lucky to have him. And I keep saying I wouldn't even have wished for those ones that people call neurotypical, like if you have no problem. But just the way he is, he's been a blessing. It's also not been easy to bring him up, but it's been very, very enjoyable, because with the challenges that he happened to have early enough, with delayed milestones, that's what we first of all noted. That his speech was not coming on time, that walking was not happening on time, that the milestones that children are expected to hit at every age took longer. But that made me learn more, read more, talk to more people, and that was interesting for me, because I could, as much as it was supposed to be a challenge, because initially I didn't accept, it made me go out there and search information. So bringing him up has been part of me. It's like my daily life, getting activities that would help him up, going to places like for speech therapy, talking to people in the industry, going to see doctors, because early enough he was a sickly child. He would fall sick quite often. And that, though it was a challenge, it also opened a new area for me to understand what happens with other parents who even undergo through more challenges like physical disability or even mental disability that is really, really challenging. So it opened for me another life that some people or parents without such a child may never know existed. So yeah, so it's been fun, it's been encouraging, it's been discouraging also sometimes. We've had tears. And
I can imagine. I was waiting for you to shed a tear while he was playing the piano, and I'm thinking you're not. It looks like you have had enough of those ones.
Yes, I've seen him do things and also encouraged him. And what I noted and what I try to do is that whenever he expressed interest in something, even today, whenever he expressed interest in something, I try to go out of my way to provide it.
Well, that's beautiful. And Nicholas says, my mom is my manager. Please speak to us about what it means to be a mom and at the same time to be a manager of this gentleman.
Yeah, they are. Actually, moms are naturally managers.
All right. Yeah, automatically.
Every mom is a manager, but I've done it more intentional. I try to help him organize his program, because as we say, he has dyslexia, he has dyscalculia, dyslexia, and other things I don't understand, because planning his program, time is usually an issue. Remembering where he's supposed to be, because sometimes he has so many activities, is a problem. Remembering the dates is a problem. And also writing and reading. So sometimes he has to do a video. Of course, he does himself and edits, but then I help him read and edit and write some things. So that's intentional. So I manage his programs, as also I oversee all the activities he's doing. And of course, nurture him as a mom.
Does it mean that you always have to be around him? Or what do you do for yourself in terms of work and all that? Yeah.
Okay. And no, I don't have to be around him. I've taught him a lot of independence. Currently, he can do as much on his own. And if he needs to go somewhere that he doesn't know, of course, I get to take an Uber for him or something like that. But I have a daytime job. I work at an international organization where I deal with the agricultural research. That's what I do. Yeah.
That's why you people are doing some good farming out there.
Yes.
In such a small space, and you realize that there's so much that is happening, and then you're asking yourself with your big shamba, what have you been doing? But here we are, and sometimes you would want to travel. What happens to him when he's left? Because, even as we were having a sitting with him, I could notice that he kept on looking at you for approval. Do I go that way? Do I not go that way? So literally, it means like you're a part of him.
Yes, but as he continued to grow, he turned 18, now he just turned 20 the other day. So I have had to release myself a bit from his life, and I've seen him pick up very well. So when I travel, it depends on the age. When he was younger, of course, I would leave him with someone to take care of him. But I remember by age 9 or 10, I stopped having a full-time house help because of the challenges of leaving him with when I'm not very sure how he's gonna be at home, and also wanted him to be independent. But depending on the age, I had to leave him someone most of the time, maybe a nephew, maybe just someone to take care of him. But now as he grows older, now of course there has to be someone for overseeing his programs, because he may not really be able to completely, of course, to pay for his travels, for everything, or just to be sure that he's doing the right thing, he's where he's supposed to be. But he can stay alone right now. He can just stay home and wake up and go, which is a big success.
I notice he's so, like, he has that human aspect in him. Pretty much disciplined, pretty much kind, trying to find out whether everybody is okay at all time. What are some of the, proud moments you've had? I know he has had a million with all these trophies and all that. What is that one that you can remember?
Okay, for kindness, that's his personality. I think Nicholas I keep telling people he changed my personality a bit. Me, I'm not that patient. Maybe I'm not kind, I don't know. But Nicholas has a personality that contagious. Yes. And so that's good. And that's helped him get along with people. And so about I don't know if I can single out any moment because there are so many, like when we started playing golf and he started showing a lot of interest, then sometimes he wins a trophy. That's a very good moment. Or maybe recently we started teaching him to do public speaking. Sometimes I sit in the house and I'm telling him, okay, go over your talk. And one time last year we went to Dar es Salaam and he gave a very nice talk. Sometimes when you go to schools and he has to talk to the children, and he has to study in front of people, that's a very good moment because he has not always been like this. He had no confidence at all.
All right, that's great. And so we're here and we are literally looking at the great strides that you have made as a parent. Sometimes you're not around to take care of him. I mean, how do you make sure that you advocate for his rights and all that, even in your absence, so that he is respected, so that he is acknowledged and appreciated, because after all, he's living in a society?
So from as early as age 5, when he could talk, I started teaching him self-advocacy. And of course, initially I didn't want him to think he can't do it in school or he's really a bit slow, what people think. But when at the point he could understand, I taught him to say, okay, I'm not able to read that. Can you read for me? I'm dyslexic. And so people would ask, what is dyslexia? And so he takes that opportunity to explain. Then he goes to a matatu and he doesn't, maybe sometimes he speaks English because of speech therapy. It's not because we live in a very good neighborhood.
To be honest, I've tried throwing in some Swahili and he takes me back to English. I'm like, all right.
That was because of speech therapy. We did speech therapy at Gertrude. And even at home, I was taught to do speech therapy for him. And you have to use one language. Because we are taught to use one language if the speech will ever develop. And that's what parents can also try. So I teach him to go back to Swahili and also say, okay, I don't use English because I'm a rich kid. It's just because of speech therapy. So self-advocacy. And when he was in school, even wherever he goes to, I would talk to the teachers, even in church, like let him sit in front there, let him read the Bible a bit so they can read, let him read the books a bit. And that has improved him a lot. So self-advocacy when I'm not there helps a lot.
I mean, over time, how has your understanding of dyslexia then evolved? And most importantly, what would you tell the parents out there who could be having kids with such condition in terms of just getting to be involved in the lives of their children, understanding the conditions and trying to make them better individuals?
Yeah, I think dyslexia in this country is very much misunderstood. And people think, he has no problem, he doesn't look it. Because people imagine you have to look it. But some of these are hidden disabilities. And people say, okay, maybe it's slowness, maybe he didn't read long enough. But with time I've understood that with assistive devices, computers, tablets, phones, these kids are able to improve better. But also, reading every time with them. So I've understood that it may not really completely ever go, but it's manageable. So I've come to understand that there are many things that come with it, not just dyslexia, not just inability to read and write.
Right.
There is also a lot more that I also don't understand everything. I also have to keep talking to those special needs teachers also to learn, to manage. But yeah, because he went all the way to 11, did only 2 exams, biology and maths. Biology he didn't write, so he was not graded. Because reading and writing is a problem. But with a reader, if you're given a reader and a writer, that's a person.
Yeah.
Usually in some other places, they're given someone who can read for them or write for them. Or you are allowed to use computers. But in this country, in high school, they're not allowed to use computers in exam rooms. So they're not allowed to use headphones because those can read back to them. So if this was to happen, I'm sure Nicholas would have done very well in school.
My goodness, the story itself is hope. I don't think there's more that you need to hear. But anyway, all the same, in about 30 seconds, as you look at, how dyslexia has impacted your family in particular, what would you tell people who are watching this evening, in terms of just making them understand that there is hope, making them understand that indeed your story doesn't have to be a story of sadness in the event that your child is undergoing such a situation?
So if your child is struggling in class with reading and writing, let's not also just try not to focus only on that. Realize that there are many other skills that this child might be gifted with. And as long as they're able to have the basic of understanding of numbers and reading and writing, let them focus on the other skills they're able to do. And also involve them in so many activities, because that also builds confidence. Also they will finally realize what they're gifted in. So dyslexia does not have to pull someone down. It's actually a gift. In fact, people with dyslexia are they're genius. In other countries we have had a lot of them who have done so much. So even in this country, we have lots of them who are going to do much. But if it's not managed, it can become a real disability. I remember in my primary school days or high school, now I realize we had people with dyslexia. But they were always thought to be slow or stupid. But if you manage it properly, expose them, bring it out, accept, focus them on the areas they're able to succeed in, then it becomes something that will become a strength and not a weakness.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for speaking to us, as well as allowing Nicholas to, speak to the people out there. Indeed, there is hope. Keep doing what it is that you're doing, because then, like we say, being a mom is a lifetime job, and therefore, in that case, this is what you'll be doing for the rest of time, and you get better by the day. At it, I have seen oranges out there. I had to say this on camera so that I'm told, sit you there and everything. So we're just closing at this very point as I cross over to the other side to enjoy the oranges. Bye-bye. My name is Linda Alela.